Hello and welcome. And I know it's been a while, but I finally continued the furnishing of my Echo mansion in Bridgeport. This video will be a bit longer than the last one because the guest house slash I guess more visitors house is a lot bigger than the entrance building I furnished last episode. But I hope you will like how I furnished this, and let's get right into it. So the visitor's house, I imagine, like in a big mansion, you would have a whole kind of guest house for your visitors to sleep in. And also this building is just so big that I didn't know what to do with this whole house. So I just thought I might just put in a kind of house where people could sleep in. It turned out more to look like a hotel with some nice amenities, and right now I'm just making the floor plan and thinking how I want to lay out the rooms. So in total I made 6 bedrooms, 2 smaller ones for maybe children, and then 4 big bedrooms with double beds. And also in this building there will be the quarter for the butler and maybe maid who live at the house. The whole like shared places, like kind of a living room and book corner and kitchen, are all shared with the butler's quarters because I didn't have enough space to make them their own kitchen and everything. But as I don't think that you will have guests over that much, I think this will be fine. So the kitchen and shared places will be mostly used by the butlers, I guess. But in the end I have 2 butlers rooms because I have a mod where you can actually have 2 butlers or maybe 2 maids that live with you. I forgot, but I made 2 rooms because that just made the most sense for me for such a big house to have 2 live-in butlers slash maids. And I wanted to still have this kind of open concept feeling in the whole area, and obviously I just kept it in that Brutalist gray concrete walls everywhere. And I wanted to make the like doors and all of the furniture more natural to kind of keep a balance with all that gray concrete. And I also put in a lot of plants in the end, and I put in these cute like opened up doors like as archways, but play pretend like you could close them, even though they're obviously made of glass, so closing them wouldn't make that much of a difference. And with the guest rooms I just made everything the same, just because this already took forever and making every room completely individual would just take up too much time. So I just put in all of the same furniture in the rooms with all of the same colors, and there I just tried to make something with the patterns, but in the end I completely changed it because it didn't really fit my vibe in the end. But I will do that a little bit later. And these 2 are like the butler's quarters, and the other rooms in the bigger part of the place are the guest rooms. I worked a lot with the creator style tool because I think it's just so nice to make everything completely fitting with that. Like I could make everything the like completely same type of wood color, and it matches just so well together. I had a little bit of difficulties because of these big windows, because I didn't want to block them that much, because obviously it looks so weird from the outside if like the back of a closet will just be blocking the window. But I also imagine like those are the windows from Into the Future, and when you look in the little view when you choose them out, like from the outside they seem to be completely like blocked, like you can't look into the house, but you get a full view like when you're inside the house and look out. So that's how I imagined it, because obviously I also had to put the bathrooms like in these rooms with these big windows, and there is this walkway in front of that house. So it would be a bit weird sitting on the toilet and someone walking by and completely looking you into the eye when you're sitting on the toilet. But I just imagined them to be like super futuristic and block out everything, like you just see like a mirror when you walk past them, and from the inside you can't look out without a problem, like those Japanese glass toilets I've seen on Instagram where you push a button and then it completely gets blocked. So that's like I imagine those windows. And yeah, there you see which pattern I now use for the beds, and I think they look a lot nicer and more cohesive with the look of the room. It's not so all over the place, it's a bit more muted. And then I also put this little desk in the rooms, like I put this stool under the desk so they're not actually usable, but it would have completely blocked the way, and I just imagine you can push it out if you want to use it, but obviously Sims can't do that, but that's just for imagination. And then I found those super cute dot rugs. I think they're so amazing, so I put them down in front of that desk, and that's also where the cut is, where I started recording again after a year. So there you see all my collections I made over the last year. Like I had to sort through 20,000 packages and make these collections. So I have all my CC now finally completely sorted. Like this is crazy. It took so long, and that's also why I was gone for so long, because my game kept crashing so much when I wanted to decorate lots. Because when I went into like the decoration folders from The Sims, there were just so many objects in them, and every time I opened it up my game started to lag so much and just crashed. And I also was able to sort out around 3 gigabytes of CC. I had mostly duplicates, so that's also nice. And there you see I tried to make something with these rugs that look like little stepping stones. In the end I deleted them because it was just a bit too much, but maybe I can do that in a bit of a bigger room at some point, because the idea is kind of cute, but it was just too much for that small of an area. Then I started decorating everything with a little bit of greenery and this cute cube-shaped lamps. I also didn't have enough room for those children's bedrooms to make a full bathroom, and I first only planned to put in a toilet, and then I realized obviously you would need a little sink to wash your hands after you went to the toilet. And it would have been nice to have like those Japanese toilets who have these kind of sinks up on the back shelf or whatever it's called, but I didn't have one of those, so I had to take this mini sink, which is also very cute. And in the end, where the closet is, I'm doing it right now, I also put down a shower, because I realized I didn't have enough room anymore to make like a shared bathroom with a shower for these children's rooms. So I thought, may as well put in a shower into the rooms, and I used a little divider here to make the shower. I just imagine there is glass between those ridges so it doesn't spray the whole room with water, but that's just more of like an imagining thing, because I don't think that it was like supposed to be like that. Yes, so then I get to the bathrooms for the bigger rooms. Like, I don't know, I really do not like furnishing bathrooms. It's always so hard, and obviously I had to put the sink onto the window, which is super unrealistic. Like, where would the plumbing be? But I did not have any other way to put it with that door in the way, so like I had to put it there. And then I also had to put the toilet there. I also put in those room dividers. Unfortunately the shower is glitching a bit into it. I changed the room dividers later because they were also kind of glitching on me in those rooms, but it was the same way with those, so like I had to just live with that. Then I wanted to make the like stone puff a little bit larger, and then I realized I don't like it anymore, so I deleted it from the front room, and I think it looks better. It was a bit overcrowded with those rugs. And then I obviously copied all of the bathrooms upstairs and downstairs, so I just made everything the same. I did not decorate them with soap and anything because this building is just so overcluttered already, so I didn't want to make it like harder on my PC than it already is. So yeah, I don't think that it is that bad that I didn't put in those things. I didn't also put in a toilet paper holder, like that would be maybe a bit more useful to put in, but I don't know, I just live without it and my Sims don't care anyway. And yes, I'm just finishing up the bathrooms and just decorating with a few more plants to make it look cuter. And then I did think about what I wanted to do with this upstairs area. First I wanted to lay down some rugs. Oh no, okay, I just put in lamps first to make it a bit more realistic, but in the end I put in the debug lights anyway to make it a bit more bright, but for realism's sake I put in these lamps which don't work anyway. I don't know, I had to restart my game to make them work in the end, so that's okay, but a bit annoying. Yeah, okay, I first made the shower in the butler's quarter. I put in 2 showers because it just was fine with the space anyway. I don't know if you need that, but there are 2 showers now. And then yes, then there was the endless search for the rug upstairs. I tested out so many, but I wasn't really happy with any of them. Like I looked through all my rugs and then I found this one and it didn't turn out the green I wanted. Like I wanted more of a sage green, but I wasn't really able to make that with this rug. So then I realized it doesn't fit on the other side, so I just put it down to maybe use it later. Spoiler, I didn't. And when I couldn't find a rug, I just decided, when do I finally decide? I really searched forever for a rug until I gave up. More rugs, okay. And then I finally think I gave up, yes. Then I thought, yeah, okay, maybe I just decorate it first and see, maybe then a rug will fit better. So first I put down some plants and then I searched for a couch because downstairs there wasn't really enough space for a kitchen, a dining room and a living room. So I made this like the common area where you can sit together, maybe drink a coffee, talk a little bit. And I found a super cute green couch, like this was perfect. Obviously I had to change the cushion color, but when I look at it now, I think the cushions that were lying on that couch like default were actually cuter than the ones I chose, but whatever, it's okay. It's also still like green turquoise, so it doesn't matter. Then I found this super cute cube pink like coffee table, which is also perfect. Like at that moment I decided I wanted to keep the color scheme more of a green and like pink, and that is what I made like for the rest of the whole build, that it is everything is like green and pink. And yes, then everything fell together and I finally found some rugs that I liked, and also this super cute bench that I found with this nice leaf pattern that I also made, like the sage, mint green and pink, so perfect. This circular coffee table also especially really nice and minimalistic. Like I think this is just the perfect fit for like so much color and patterns, and then use more of like simple shaped furniture, so it isn't too much, so you're putting on a statement with the colors and patterns, and then you use just very simple shaped furniture, and then everything looks cohesive and nice. And then I put some like drinks on the table so it looks a little bit more lived in, and also some chandeliers couldn't be missing, and also those over the stairs. I always wanted to use those, but I never really used them, so this was a perfect moment to put those long hanging lamps in this front way. And then I also thought of, yeah, maybe there would be a nice light next to the mirrors, like that's the thing missing in the bathroom. Okay, I don't know why I absolutely needed this, but it's fine. And then then I remembered that there were mirrors missing in the children's bathrooms, and then I finally came downstairs. I was thinking about doing the entranceway, but I hadn't really an idea for what I wanted to do there. So first I went into like the kitchen dining room situation, and that's absolutely my favorite part of building, putting down a kitchen. And I had this idea to make this like U-formed kitchen where there were bar stools all around the kitchen, and I had some problems with the custom counters, like the textures were always glitching on me, so I also tested out some of the EA ones and they weren't doing it, so it's a problem with the custom ones, but I know how to fix that. But first I had to work with this ugly texture mess. Then I realized I couldn't put any sinks or appliances into these bar counters, so I had to put one full row of normal counters against the wall. And then I also found the fitting overhead counters, cabinets, and I put them in the same style as the counters that are on the floor, and I fit everything together. And then I also put down a fridge, and first I put this overhead counter on the fridge, but I realized it didn't work when I had to go into live mode and fix the texture of the counters, because that's a thing that I only can do in live mode. Like I don't know another way. Like I go into live mode, click on the object and go into debug objects and reset textures, and then I just have to put on the right style again and it looks fine. Like this looks perfect. And also I did change the color of those counters. Like it is so bright white. When I put down decorations you couldn't even see them because it was so blinding. So I changed that like in a few minutes because this was just a bit too crazy bright for me. I also realized that I did not want to put down the dishwasher like into that kitchen. It would have completely ruined the style. So I made this little room back there where I will put the dishwasher and the trash compactor, and in the other small room I will put in the washing machine. And I divided it with another room divider because I obviously couldn't put in a wall there because the window was there, so that was the next best thing, and I think it's fine. So then I also didn't want to ruin the counters with a coffee machine, so I put down this little coffee brewing station in the corner there with this cute little counter with these rounded edges. I didn't want to completely copy the style of the kitchen again. I wanted to make it a little bit different because obviously it is a complete different kind of counter. And then the coffee machine couldn't be put under, why ever, so I used this piece that is like the one more slot please like surfaces, but with the one more slot please surfaces, these red and white ones I will be using later. Unfortunately, the objects that are on it can't be used by Sims, so I tried out this one. I haven't tested it if it works, but I hope it does because it is especially made for counters, so I hope the Sims will be able to use it. And then I finally changed the counter color. It's a bit more gray now, but at least you can see what you put on there, so that's fine. And then I started decorating with a little bit of stuff. I first just put it down there, and when I decided what I wanted to use, I used the One More Slot Please surface and put it on the right spot so it looks a little bit more realistic. And I think, oh yeah, I still not used to all of my collections, so I was searching for one I made, but I think I didn't make it, so I was searching for forever until I realized, maybe it's not there, so I gave up, and maybe I have to see where this vanished, but I was pretty sure I made a folder for dining room decorations, like a ton of plates and napkins and cutlery, but I don't know where this vanished. And then I decorated it with a little bit like a wine glass and a bottle of wine, more lemonade and some coffee, and put this cute pot on the stove. And then I also had to put every of those cups on this counter to make it a bit more tidy looking. And obviously I also needed another rug because I don't know, a rug just ties the whole room together. I don't know, personally I do not have a rug in my kitchen because it would get just so dirty all the time, but with Sims that's no problem. So I put down a cute little rug, or more like a cute big rug. I also decorated the fences with some potted plants, and then I went into putting down some more lights, and I couldn't find one that I really liked, so I just used this pair of 3 lamps that I squished together with a ton of copies of it, and it looks a bit chaotic, but I think it's kind of cute. And then finally to the entrance area. Oh yeah, I first furnished this little laundry room. That coffee table didn't really fit in there, so I put it in the other building to use for later. And then, oh my god, this whole area in the front of the stairs, it took me forever to decide what I wanted to have there. Like, I wanted to have a perfectly fitting rug for that area, but obviously I didn't have one. So at some point I had the idea to use these like wooden, with the border, like wooden floors, and they kind of looked cute, but they had this like fishbone, herringbone pattern on them that made it like a super chaotic. And then I had a great idea: instead of wood, I could just use some pattern that made it even more chaotic. And I wanted to keep it like green and pink, like the color scheme, but it looked just a bit too much, so then I made it just green and made the border pink. Like, I tested out so many things, and when I finally laid them down everywhere, like I'm still making the color, like this took forever, and in the end I decided for something completely different. But like, that's the part of building, like you test out a lot of things and in the end you just see it wasn't like you envisioned it, and that's okay. Like, you can do so many things in the Sims 3 build. So yeah, and also the herringbone pattern didn't match up, unfortunately, so I decided for a bit more like easier pattern on the eyes, but I also decided for this like scale design in the middle, which also didn't work out in the end because it, like you see on the other tile, it didn't match up. So that was unfortunate because I think it could have looked pretty cool, but in the end I just made all of the parts with the terrazzo pattern, and I just turned it to be a little bit more sage and pink, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Like, this is super cute. And also I did want to fit in a rug in this little part there in front of the stairs. The only rugs that I had that fit that part were unfortunately not like able to be changed in the creator style tool. So then I found this little cube quadratic shaped rug, but unfortunately it didn't fit perfectly into this form, so I just put it in the laundry room because I still thought it was pretty cute from the color scheme, but it just didn't fit in front of the stairs. And then, oh my god, this painting here under the stairs is just so beautiful. Like, I would hang this up in my house instantly. Like, this is so pretty, like the colors so perfect. I put in a painting up on every bedroom except the children's room, I think, because there was just not enough space for a painting. And also, obviously, most of the walls were just windows, so there were not a lot of places to put up paintings, but a few are enough. And then I wanted to put like a little seating area, reading nook under the stairs, because it would have just looked so empty. And especially you could just look at that painting all day. It's so pretty, I love it. And it also turned out pretty cute, I think. And I wanted to have a little bit more of a modern lamp there, and this fit perfectly. Like, I never been able to use these lamps, but there it was perfect. Also, I needed a bookshelf, because what would the Sims do all day? Like, there are no TVs, and like reading is the next best option, I guess. And then I went into the entrance room, and I made this little collection for entrance room decor, so that came in handy already. These cute hooks, because I didn't have enough space for a whole cabinet. It would have just cramped up the whole room. And then I searched for a little bench where you can sit on when you put on your shoes, and this was also perfect. I also colored it like sage and pinkish, and then put some shoes in front of it, and also put down some other decorations, like on these hangers I wanted to put some play pretend clothes, like there is already someone visiting. It didn't work out perfectly. I probably need to download a little bit of CC that works with these clothes hangers, but it still looks fine, I think, with these one more slot please surfaces, so that's nice. And with that, oh okay, so that's the last thing I did indoors. So the butlers quarters, they needed a TV, because obviously they were not just visiting, they worked there, so I thought they deserve a TV, so I gave them one and also decorated a little bit. And then the entrance room to the butlers quarters, like, it is a bit weird shape with all those doors all around, like every wall had a door in it, so I couldn't really make any sense of it. So I just thought, like, it's more of a decorative room than actually something you could use, so a little bit of decorations. And then I found this super beautiful yellow rug. Like, where is it? There it is, beautiful. And then I put just this bench on top of it, and decided that I wanted to make the bench fitting to the carpet, so I made it yellow. And then I searched for some more shelves that I could put into these corners, obviously also just for decoration, because these are not like really useful. And I also didn't like the dark color for that room, so I gave it a bit more of a lighter wood color that fits more with the bedroom. And then I searched for some decorations, like in my office decorations folder, and then I remembered I had this sculpture decoration folder with all of these like picture frames and other cute decoration items. Like, that came in handy already, so I decorated this area, put the plant a little bit better into the corner, and then I went to the outside area. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to make of that, like maybe more like in a hotel room, like a lot of small seating areas. But because I already had like a lot of small seating areas in the inside, I decided more on a big table where everyone could sit together and eat. Obviously, there are not a lot of super big tables in The Sims 3, so I just used some smaller tables and put them together. There I'm deciding on which one I wanted to use. And I used this glass table. I think this is pretty nice. And then I just put 6 of them down and put the chairs on it. Obviously I had to do some rearranging because it didn't fit perfectly in the beginning, but in the end I think it turned out pretty cute. So this is like a huge place for the guests and obviously also the owner of the house to eat with the guests together. Then I thought maybe I could put the table like sideways, but I realized that the way through the middle would be completely blocked, so I turned it back like aligned with the door and put down these trellises to make like a bit of a seating nook behind the big table. And then I was searching for my wall plant, and I found this cute wisteria plant for the trellises. This made everything look a lot more cozy. And then I put down these wicker chairs and bench in the back, and I'm always trying to find a space for this umbrella, but in the end I deleted it and found another one because I just couldn't make that umbrella work. I put down some more trellises because I just liked the look so much. I had some trouble placing it down, but in the end it worked, and I decorated it with more of these wisteria plants. And obviously what you need outside on a terrace like that is a barbecue. So I also searched one out that fit with the style. And then a little fire in the back. And then I realized I hadn't aligned the table perfectly with the door, so I just put it down perfectly so it looks nice. And yeah, that's when I realized the umbrella also doesn't fit on the table. And I also searched for some lights outside, but most of these outside lights from the Sims 3 sorting system are mostly like street lights, so that was weird. So I put down these little circular shaped lights, and obviously I will put the debug lights down also outside, so it is nice and lit up at night. And then I'm getting to the little cozy nook on the corners. I just made the same cozy nook on each side, and then I finally searched for a different umbrella that worked better and also put a little plant in the corner at the same thing I did on the other side. And then I just decorated the tables with the one more slot please surfaces again. Like I put a little candle down and also wanted to decorate the table, so I just copied the one more slot please surface and put 3 down on the table and put some more candles and decorations on the table, and also some drinks on the smaller table, again just for it to look a little bit more lived in. And in life mode those get invisible sometimes. It is a little bit buggy, so when you move into a house or you restart your game and in life mode they're still there, you just have to switch into build mode for a second and then get back into life mode and they're completely invisible. But just after starting your game they are visible, so that's a little bug, or I don't know if this is just normal. So that's how it looks done. I think it turned out pretty well. I'm happy because I haven't decorated for a while because I was so completely working on the collections and sorting through my CC, but I think that was worth it because this helped a lot with decorating this place. So I hope I will not take over a year for the next part of this build, and maybe in the next few weeks the next part will be out already. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you also like the outcome of this furnishing video, and I hope I see you in the next part. Bye!